Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a really critical topic, internal communication. It's, the lifeblood of any organization, but honestly, it often seems to just run on autopilot, or worse. We're diving into sources that actually put numbers on the cost of getting this wrong, and importantly, give us a roadmap to fix it.
Yeah, and that getting it wrong or having a sort of haphazard approach, that seems to be the default, surprisingly. Our sources point to this, well, pretty startling gap. Get this, 60% of businesses don't have any kind of long-term vision for their internal comms. 60%.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
60%.
yeah. And we're not just talking about, sending emails. This is fundamental to culture, getting things done, strategy. But most companies are just sort of reacting.
That feels negligent almost. If something's that important, flying blind seems like a massive risk. So our mission for this deep dive is clear. We need to boil down this strategy stuff into, actionable steps. We'll look at the benefits, the real financial ones, the best practices you absolutely need, and, crucially, how to measure if it's actually working, turning that info overload into something useful.
And the potential upside here is, well, it's huge. The data we looked at suggests that if you fix this communication gap, you could see employee productivity jump by up to 25%.
25%?
That's the kind of opportunity we're talking about.
Yeah.
Significant. Okay, so maybe let's start by unpacking the current situation, the cost.
Yeah, let's start there. The cost of doing nothing. Because it's often hidden, isn't it? Buried in other budgets. The sources actually quantify it. They say employees spend up to 2 hours a day just hunting for information or clarifying things.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Or worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, gossiping, wondering, am I next for layoffs, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And that's not just lost time, is it?
No, not at all. That anxiety, that's a direct hit to the business. When people are stressed about job security or confused about policy or can't find basic info, they're not productive. They're not adding value. You scale that up, the numbers are just enormous. Companies reporting $37 billion in losses, directly linked to poor communication and misunderstandings.
37 billion. That number it's staggering. It implies way more than just wasted hours. That sounds like huge project failures, maybe compliance issues from misunderstanding rules, strategic misalignment.
Precisely. It's the cost of everyone pulling in slightly different directions, or not pulling at all. But it's not just financial, right? It cuts deeper. When you look at how employees feel about it, only 15% are actually happy with their company's internal communication. 15.
Ouch. That low.
Yeah. Miserable, really. And that lack of satisfaction, it kills trust. And critically, it stops people from flagging problems or, bringing forward good ideas.
That's the real killer, isn't it? If I feel out of the loop, or like my voice doesn't matter, why would I bother suggesting an improvement? Why stick my neck out? So, okay, to fix this, what are the core principles? What do our sources say we have to get right?
It really boils down to three key things.
Yeah.
The big three best practices: transparency, consistency, and brevity. Got to nail those.
Transparency, consistency, brevity.
Without those pillars, all the fancy email templates or slick videos in the world, they're just noise.
Okay, that focus on transparency, it connects to something interesting in the sources about younger workers, right? Gen Z, millennials. Why this big push for what's sometimes called overcommunication seems odd if brevity is also a goal.
It's the world they live in, isn't it? Their digital natives are constantly seeing the latest news, the latest hashtag, whatever's trending.
Yeah.
Information flow is just constant,
Yeah.
expected.
Right.
So if the company suddenly goes quiet for a couple of weeks, their default assumption isn't, oh, things must be fine. It's often, uh-oh, what's wrong?
Yeah. So communicate more often. Yeah. But the advice is not to just try and be cool about it, right? No cute gifs or chipper messaging.
No, they see right through that instantly. To build real loyalty, real trust, you have to meet that need for frequent updates with actual honesty. Transparent communication, that's the key. The goal isn't to be like the fun uncle. It's to be reliably trustworthy.
That makes sense.
If the only time they hear from the CEO is some highly polished, scripted town hall once a quarter, well, that trust isn't there when a real crisis hits. It just isn't.
Yeah, trust over trying too hard to be relatable.
Got it.
That's a critical distinction. So if transparency is so important, how do we check if our own leadership isn't just, perched on some distant throne, as the sources put it? How do we audit ourselves?
Perfect question. Because that's exactly where you start building a better strategy. with a really honest audit. That means actively listening to the complaints, the frustrations. Those are your symptoms. They tell you exactly where the system is broken.
And these complaints, they're often pretty basic, aren't they? Things like, I don't think I ever saw that email, or I can't find that policy anywhere, or the classic,
I have no idea what is going on.
yeah, the absolute worst.
And that leads to this really crucial point the sources make.
Uh-huh.
There's no such thing as a no-impact approach to communication.
Hmm.
If you decide not to have a strategy, if you just let it happen, that is your strategy. And it's having a negative impact
Yeah.
on culture, productivity, everything.
Right. Doing nothing is still doing something, just badly. Okay, so we listen to the complaints, we diagnose the symptoms. Then what? Treat employees like marketing segments.
Exactly like that. You have to think about your audience. Who needs this specific piece of information? Are you talking to brand new hires? They need the basics, the onboarding stuff. Mid-level managers, they need the strategic context to translate it for their teams. Key stakeholders, they need the financial updates. Your channel, your tone, your level of detail, it all have to adapt.
And thinking about audience, especially for big news, new strategies, the sources really hammer this point about the CEO. They can't seem distant, right? Especially in big companies. That top-down message needs to feel, well, personal somehow to build that connection.
Absolutely. It needs to feel like leadership actually gets what's happening on the ground. Which brings us nicely to the how, the channels. Because if the message is important, the delivery method matters a lot. We need to be strategic about which internal channels we're using for what.
It feels like the choice of channel really depends on the emotional weight of the message, or maybe the complexity matching the medium to the message.
That's exactly it. The sources give a pretty clear hierarchy here, mostly based on tone. If tone means absolutely everything, think difficult conversations, conflict, big disruptive changes you have to use face-to-face. Or at least live video, like Zoom.
Makes sense.
It allows for nuance, for reading reactions, for immediate clarification. It's often just more efficient for complex back and forth, too.
Yeah, definitely don't want to deliver bad news via Slack message. Okay, what about pre-recorded video? That seems really popular now. Messages from leaders and so on.
Videos are great, yeah. Especially for telling a story or making a senior exec feel more accessible. Done well, it can feel quite casual, almost like getting a quick update from a friend. Builds that personal connection.
Right. And then you've got the old school stuff, like actual paper.
Believe it or not, yes. Handouts still have a place, especially for critical details people need to remember or refer back to easily. Think safety procedures, event schedules, benefits info, things you might pen up or keep on your desk.
Okay. And for the quick day-to-day stuff, keeping projects moving, team bonding.
That's the sweet spot for instant messaging. Your Slack, your Teams, whatever you use. It's perfect for quick clarifications, less formal in email, saves time, and definitely helps build that team camaraderie. A little bit banter, quick questions answered.
And meetings. Everyone hates meetings, right?
Well, yes and no. People hate huge, impersonal, all-hands meetings where they feel invisible. But the sources show employees actually prefer regular, small team meetings. They feel more seen, they can ask questions more easily, it's better for genuine discussion and feedback.
Interesting. Okay, so we've audited, we've listened, we've picked our channels strategically. Now, execution. And this seems like a danger zone. The sources warn that 65% of employees feel the information they do get isn't comprehensive enough. That could completely derail a great strategy, couldn't it? Vague instruction.
Absolutely hobble it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
You can't afford ambiguity here. So you have to start with crystal clear expectations. And the best way to do that, the good old SMART framework for setting goals.
Ah, SMART goals. Specific, measurable.
Yes, Zach, your communication goals need to be specific, like hyper clear, no room for doubt, measurable use numbers, how will you know you succeeded, attainable, realistic, within your resources, budget, relevant, directly linked to the company's mission or current objectives, and time-bound, clear deadlines.
Okay, SMART goals make sense for the plan. But then,
Yeah.
who owns it? Who makes sure it actually happens?
Yeah.
Assigning responsibility feels crucial because, like you said, this is where strategies often just fizzle out, right? In the handoff between departments or levels.
That's a huge failure point.
Hmm.
The sources are clear. The overall strategy needs visible backing from the very top. Senior leadership has to champion it, review it, promote it. That sets the tone. But the day-to-day implementation, real work of making it stick, that falls heavily on mid-level managers.
The boots on the ground.
Exactly. They're the ones cascading information down and feeding information back up. They have to be equipped, accountable, and committed. It needs sustained effort there, or Yeah, the strategy just dies on the vine.
Right. So if we're embracing the M in SMART measurables, we need proof this whole effort is actually paying off. Beyond just asking people, are you happier now? What metrics should we be tracking? What tells us the communication strategy is working from a business perspective?
You look at the hard numbers, the business indicators. If communication is truly improving, you will see shifts. Compare productivity and profits over time. Are they trending up? Less time wasted searching, fewer errors. That should boost the bottom line. Also, look at employee referral numbers. Happy, informed, engaged employees are way more likely to recommend their workplace to friends. That number should climb.
Okay, so productivity, profit, referrals going up, what should be going down?
Your turnover rate, ideally. People leave when they feel disconnected, frustrated, or uninformed. Better communication should reduce that. And potentially safety incidents. Clear instructions, clear processes, better understanding of policies that should lead to a safer workplace, fewer mistakes.
Makes sense. And then the digital stuff, tracking clicks and opens.
Yes, absolutely. You need to treat your internal platforms, internet, email newsletters, whatever, like you would an external marketing channel. Track engagement. Which emails get opened, what links get clicked, which posts get likes or comments. This tells you if your message is actually landing with the specific audiences you're trying to reach. It shows what resonates.
Wow. Okay, so pulling this all together,
Yeah.
this journey from seeing the huge cost of silence right through to implementing measurable channel-specific strategies just makes it incredibly clear. Internal communication isn't some soft, fluffy HR thing. It's a core strategic function. It directly drives business results.
Couldn't agree more. But, while all the numbers are important, the productivity gains, the lower turnover, the engagement stats, they're vital proof points. But the sources really emphasize that the ultimate success, the ongoing health, relies on continuous two-way dialogue. The single most critical thing, the step that never ends, it's simply listening. That when in doubt, ask idea. That qualitative feedback, understanding the why behind the numbers, that's what helps you course correct better than any dashboard ever will.
Yes. It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Oh.
Fantastic. Okay, that brings us to our final provocative thought for you, our listeners, to chew on. In this age of, endless data and metrics, if you could only track one thing to truly gauge the health of your internal communication, what should it be? Should it be the hard engagement data from your internet, the clicks, the opens, the what? Or should it be the quality and nature of the feedback, even the complaints coming into your suggestion box, the how people feel, the what they're truly missing? Which one really tells you if you've connected with the actual human beings who power your company?